Proverbs 3:11. Musar Adonai beni al tim'as ve'al takots betokachto. Today we begin with the word musar. Now this is a word that means discipline, and it can mean a variety of different aspects of discipline. So this could be something like disciplining yourself. I think that's a possible context for this one. You might be good at working out, or you really have you hold to a strict schedule. You're a very disciplined kind of person. It can be that. In this case, notice that it's in construct with the divine name, Musar Adonai, so the discipline of the Lord, And I think this probably is a little more in line with something like disciplinary correction. Now, doesn't necessarily have to be tied to any particular disciplinary correction, but it is this idea of kind of bringing back into alignment our lives with the things that the Lord values. And so this discipline, this correction, and we get that a little bit from this concept of, notice, do not reject or do not despise. And then we get this other verb down here that's parallel and related with something like do not be disgusted at his rebuke or his reproach, something like that. So I think that's where we can kind of get this idea that musar within this context is referring to God's disciplinary judgment. And the idea is don't reject that. Okay, so let's look at the rest of this. We've already seen a little bit of it, but here we have my son. So the discipline of the Lord, my son. Do not, there's the negation. Notice it's an al negation, so that makes this a jussive. We're looking at a call jussive here. Do not reject or do not despise. And so that's our first line that's kind of giving us the main thought. And then secondly, notice that we get the negation again here with al. So also now telling us that we're looking at a jussive here. So that al negates the jussive. But, this is not something like let yourself not do something. And we don't mean that by jussive. This all plus the jussive is just a way of saying a simple command. So here we get, and do not be abhorred by, or do not be disgusted by. Halot says a repugnance for. So do not feel a repugnance for his, there's third masculine singular pronominal suffix, his tochachat. And this word means reproof. So do not feel repugnant toward his reproof. Now, if we come back and pick up the verb here, this verbal root is kutz. So it's a tu vav yod verb. And notice here that we have the A to O vowel pattern. So we got A-O. And so that's going to give us a call. So we're looking here at a call imperfect. This is a 2ms, second masculine singular. And again, this whole thing creates the prohibition, al takots, okay? So we get here, and do not feel disgusted by his reproach or his reproof. So now, what is this teaching us? It's a little bit interesting. Okay, son, the discipline of the Lord. When the Lord is trying to get your attention through disciplinary actions, don't despise that. Don't reject that. This is something that is good for you. Don't reject that, and don't be abhorred by his reproach. Like, this is a good thing for our sin to be pointed out. And it's a wise thing that I think Proverbs is helpful to deal with. And I think that we oftentimes don't want this kind of, joy in correction. That's an odd way to say it, I know, but we oftentimes don't want that because it's uncomfortable, right? But this is exactly what the Lord is teaching us, that we shouldn't despise that. We should feel some sort of joy in having the rough edges knocked off and being made into Christ's likeness. And I think that's exactly what this is getting at. So the whole thing here with blue highlighter now we have is the discipline of the Lord, my son. Do not reject and do not be disgusted by his reproof.